Hello, you're welcome to my platform. I am Dr. Sandra and I'm a surgeon. I hope you become aware and sensitized about the different surgical conditions. Today's video is about a furuncle. A furuncle is a pus-filled swelling in the skin that is usually as a result of infection of the hair follicle as well as the tissue surrounding the hair follicle. And it is commonly due to bacteria, especially a bacterium called Staphylococcus aureus. It kind of looks like a pimple, but it is bigger than a pimple and it originates deeper from the skin, unlike the pimple, which is smaller and more superficial in the skin. What happens is when the bacteria infects the hair follicle as well as the tissue surrounding the hair follicle, there is going to be a recruitment of the cells of the immune system, specifically the macrophages. The macrophages have some structures within them called lysosomes. The lysosomes within the macrophages will produce some enzymes, and these enzymes have a destructive effect on the tissue surrounding the hair follicle as well as the skin. And these enzymes do this through converting the tissues into liquid form. The bacteria also produce toxins, and these toxins also have destructive effects onto the tissues surrounding the hair follicle as well as the skin. So the resultant effect will be a swelling containing pus. This pus will be containing bacteria as well as the dead tissues and the toxins. The parts of the body that are commonly affected by furuncles include the neck, the back, the thigh, the forearm, the armpits, the inguinal region, the genital area, as well as the perianal region, although it can also occur elsewhere on the body. By the way, Staphylococcus aureus is a normal flora on the skin. That is, it naturally occurs on the skin. Some individuals also have it in their nostrils, so it shouldn't be a cause for alarm until there are some compromising conditions. For example, a low immunity in individuals that, for example, have diabetes mellitus, HIV, individuals on steroids, individuals on anti-rejection drugs, maybe they have undergone an organ transplantation, or they have skin conditions that breach the integrity of the skin, for example, eczema, psoriasis. When it comes to the signs and symptoms of a furuncle, it usually starts as a painful red swollen bump originating from the deeper layers of the skin, and in some instances it can resolve spontaneously, but in certain instances it can progress to form a yellow bump, and the reason why it turns yellow is because there is pus formation that occurs after some time. The skin overlying the bump can undergo necrosis, that is, it can die, but as it heals, the skin can grow back. There can also be enlargement of the lymph nodes, and this is usually as a result of spreading of the infection to the lymph nodes. The complications of furuncles include cellulitis, lymphadenitis. Lymphadenitis, by the way, is the inflammation, that is the irritation of the lymph nodes. There can also be hidradenitis, that is when the infection involves several hair follicles. There can also be another complication called cavernous sinus thrombosis. Cavernous sinus thrombosis, by the way, is when there is formation of a clot in the cavernous sinus. The cavernous sinus, by the way, is a venous drainage channel that drains blood from the brain and also some parts of the face, and it takes this blood into the internal jugular vein, one of the veins in the neck, which later takes it to the heart. Cavernous sinus thrombosis is very common in individuals that have furuncles in the danger zone of the face. That is that area from the bridge of the nose to the corners of the mouth. And it is very common in individuals that have the tendency of squeezing the furuncles, as this can cause the spread of the infection into the cavernous sinus, causing clot formation. The bacteria can be transported by the veins that directly drain blood from the face, and these veins can take it to the cavernous sinus and we can have clot formation. Therefore, please refrain from squeezing the furuncles, especially those that exist in the danger zone of the face, as this can predispose you to cavernous sinus thrombosis. Cavernous sinus thrombosis, by the way, can cause vision loss, seizures, stroke, severe headaches. So make sure that if you get any swelling around the danger zone of the face, for example, a furuncle, that you let it heal spontaneously or you seek medical intervention. Please refrain from squeezing it, as this can spread the infection. When it comes to the treatment of furuncles, some furuncles can resolve spontaneously without medical intervention. However, some cannot resolve spontaneously and will need antibiotics. And the common antibiotics that we use are the penicillins, for example, cloxacillin, dicloxacillin, flucloxacillin. And for furuncles that don't respond to antibiotic usage, we can employ incision and drainage. Incision and drainage is a surgery where we make an incision over the furuncle and we can drain out the pus. When it comes to the prevention of furuncles, please avoid contact with any individuals that have a Staphylococcus aureus infection or individuals that have a furuncle, because when you get into contact with these individuals, you can have an exchange of body fluids, for example, pus, and the pus can get in contact with your skin and you can end up with a furuncle. Please also exercise good personal hygiene by showering daily. Please also exercise good hand hygiene by washing your hands regularly with antibacterial soap and water. Please also avoid sharing clothes, washcloths, towels and bed sheets. That is what I had for you. Thank you so much for watching. Please share my videos and also subscribe. See you in my next video. Bye.